Hi everybody, this is Dario. Welcome back to my channel Motley Reads. Today is Friday. It is January the 8th, and I'm going to talk about my reading year 2020. I'm going to give you some of the tell you about some of the best reading experiences of 2020. I'm going to tell you some of the worst reading experiences of 2020. And I'm going to give a couple of honorable mentions. So I'm going to talk about 5 good books, 2 books that I didn't think were that good, and I'm going to have 2 honorable mentions. So the reading year was, to me, it was in different periods. It was great reading year. In some periods, it was just too much to do at work, so I didn't do that much reading during this period. So it was, on and off. But all in all, I'm pretty satisfied how things went. So let's talk first about the good books, the books that I thought were really, really good. First book that I really liked, that was one of my favorite readings this year, and my favorite readings ever, actually, is. I don't see it. It's two books, but I will present it as one book. It's Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel, and the sequel Bring Up the Bodies by Hilary Mantel. The third book, The Mirror and the Light, has come out early this year. I didn't read it yet. I have saved it for a couple of reasons. I'm gonna tell you about that. But Wolf Hall. This is not the first time I'm reading Wolf Hall. It was my reread, and I read Wolf Hall when the book came out, and I read the Swedish translation, and I didn't like it at all. It was, well, it wasn't, 1-star read, but it wasn't. I didn't really understand the hype, and it didn't really resonate with me, and and I was pretty disappointed because I love history and especially English history, and I thought this was going to be great, and I was really disappointed, and this was really bothering me for years. And then it was back in January. I saw a video posted by Jason, fellow booktuber over at All Blues Chapter and Verse, where he initiated what he called for a Cromwellathon, because he loves Hilary Mantel and her books, and he arranged the read along. And then I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna give it a chance, and I'm gonna read it in English this time. So I acquired the books in English, and I started reading, and that was completely different reading experience. I don't know if it was the language, that Swedish translation was bad, and that it was supposed to be read in English. I don't know if it's maybe I was in a better mood for reading it. Maybe the context of the readathon or read along that Jason had helped, but I don't know what happened. But I was completely absorbed, and this was really fantastic read in all senses. It gave that rare presence that you get in historic fiction. Some authors are really good at creating this presence, and Hilary Mantel is definitely one of them, and I would say the best ever in my opinion. During reading these books, I felt really there. I felt it just standing next to Thomas Cromwell and following all the intrigues and all the things that are developing throughout Hans' career, both before he came to court and then during the court, and being a queen maker with Anne Boleyn, and then being instrumental in pulling her down, and being instrumental to a tragic end, and everything. It was extremely exciting to be a part of that story, and you felt you were really there, and all this, like a small framed pictures that she is giving there, that you feel a presence. You feel almost like you are watching the horses' legs when they are riding away. It's you almost hear the sound, smells. It's such fantastic writing style, such an exciting story. It was really great. So I read Wolf Hall, and then immediately I got into Bring Up the Bodies. So I read this one also, and I really loved them, both books. Now, The Mirror and the Light, why I didn't read it yet, basically there are two reasons. First reason, it might sound silly. I have these, books, two books in the same edition. So I'm waiting for a pocket edition, so I don't want to have a huge hardback next to these in my bookshelf. Now I realize that the publisher, Fourth Estate, is going to do like publishers often do. They will not give us third book in this series, but they have released these two first books in a new series, and then you can buy a third along with them. So you need to buy all three of them. So I'm not sure what I will do. Probably I'm gonna just buy a third book, but of the same size. That's one reason. Second reason is obviously time and everything else to read, because that third book is huge. It's a chunkster. And then there is also additional reason is which very often happen when I read series. I don't read series that much, but when I read series and I like them very much, I kind of hold on to the last book for a long time, because I get very sad because I know that, okay, this is no more. This is the last book in the series, and I will never again have this feeling of reading it first time. So that's also. So I'm gonna read it at some point. Possibly this year, maybe next year, but yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. But they were really good. Wolf Hall and Bring Up the Bodies, it's extremely good. Next on my list of great reads during 2020 is A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, and this is the book also that I read early during this year, and A Tale of Two Cities, as you probably know, is a story of French Revolution. It is vivid description of life in two cities, in London and Paris, and with the French Revolution at the center of happenings, and. It is according to Charles Dickens himself. It was his finest and most favorite book. I don't know. I didn't read all his work. Far from that. But let's see when I come there. Anyways, this what I really liked about this book. First of all, the writing style of Charles Dickens, the way he basically goes into very clear descriptions of the happenings and environments, and my favorite parts in this book were the parts about the how the French Revolution really ignites and get hold on the masses, and how everything just turns into that mass psychosis and the tragedy that happened during the revolution. Obviously, it was the revolution in itself freed the people from a despotic tyranny of aristocracy back then, but then basically like revolutions always do, they eat first the ones that the revolution is against, and then they eat their own children, and the revolution itself is a tragedy. But the whole feeling, how he's describing all the masses on the streets, and all the killings, and all the workings of the guillotine with his summaric executions that are going. It's a very strong story, and I never came that close to French Revolution like we're reading this book. So it was really fantastic read, A Tale of Two Cities. Another really great read during the year was this one, Giovannis Room by James Baldwin, and this read was a part of my June Pride Month reads. It is, James Baldwin, obviously a master of wordcraft. So the way he wrote it's really unparalleled. It's a prose that is enchanting and enchanting and intoxicating at the same time. You get really deep into feelings of the protagonists, and in this case we are talking about David, a young American guy in 1950s Paris, who is there together with his girlfriend to become wife. She leaves off for a vacation in Spain. He stays in Paris there, spending some time, and then he meets Giovanni, an Italian bartender, and with him he starts a passionate love affair and discovers his true sexual orientation, breaking with conventions of that time, conventions of the American society, conservative American society, in the same way as James Baldwin himself broke with conventions of American society when he moved to Paris in his 50s. And it was a book that when it was published, it was a huge scandal, because it was, first of all, it was about homosexuality, and second of all, it was written by an African American man, and it is written about the protagonist, who is white. So this white guy goes from a heterosexual into homosexual, and it's so it was a lot of scandal around it. But again, the prose of James Baldwin is fantastic, and also his knowledge of an understanding of most inner human feelings, in a way of actually conveying them in an understandable way, so that you just by reading one sentence or part of a sentence get you feel in your chest exactly what he's trying to say. There are not many authors that were able to do that. I knew that I read other stuff by James Baldwin, political stuff, before. I knew that he was writing really great, but this one, it really blew me away. So this was fantastic reading. So very slim volume, so if you never have read James Baldwin, give it a chance and start here, because this is fantastic. So Giovannis Room. Another fantastic read and new acquaintance for me this year, and it was a part of my Jane Austen July reading, is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. And before this July, I never read anything by Jane Austen, which is pretty embarrassing actually, but I never did it. So I embarked on this journey. I read Pride and Prejudice. I read Emma. I loved both books, but I thought Pride and Prejudice is my favorite among two of them. I really don't need to describe what the Pride and Prejudice is about. You either have read it or you have seen the movie, so you know what is it all about. What I really liked here, I'm not really a big fan of love stories, but this love story was among the most fantastic things I ever read. It must be the best love story ever written, and it is written in a way that is such a fantastic expertise, such mastery of wordcraft. It's the way she's creating the story, and having several different threads that are waving into each other, and then when you're reading one thread, you're kind of conscious that something is going on in the other thread, because then the threads meet. So it's not written in a way like often when you have several threads in the books, you feel that you are reading something and then boom, it stops, and then another thing begins, you read about that, and then the first thing is back again, and like that. Nothing like that. Everything is just finely like a braid, right? And done in that way. I was so impressed when I read it, and also how much I learned about the Regency period, about what was going on, with this whole thing about the gender relations and the social stratification and the role of real estate in a society back then, and you learn so much. So this book was really fantastic, and I'm really looking very much forward to Jane Austen July this year. So I have two books that I will read. I talked about them in my reading plans video. So I'm really excited about it. So Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. And then last of the great books that I read this year, and in my opinion, the best book I read this year, and in my opinion, now when I have some distance, I read it a couple of months ago, and when I can cool down the feelings and all the excitement and so on, and I objectively look back, it is the best reading in my life ever. And this is To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. This fantastic work, also again in a new acquaintance. I never read anything by Virginia Woolf. It's a favorite author of my wife Mia. I like very much about Virginia Woolf, about the whole cultural history context of hers, with her being a part of the Bloomsbury group and the all the intellectuals around it, and I also watched the movie the Hours, and know about her role as a feminist icon, as a gay icon, also the struggle with the mental illness and her suicide and so on. So very, very much about Virginia Woolf, but the writing, you need to read it. You need to read this, and when you read, it's not easy read by any means, and it's not one of these pretentious, difficult reads. It's writing style that is the stream of consciousness writing style, when basically a thought jumps like a butterfly between different protagonists. And so it is a bit of you need to concentrate when you read it, obviously, but you read it with such intensity, and you can just drown in the stories, and you every time you pull out, you are completely, at least I was completely happily exhausted when you read it, because it's such an intense such intense treat for your brain when you read this, and it does. I think it requires some life experience. Yeah, it requires that you are like 40 plus to be able to get all the references here. Although obviously I think that most of the young people, they get a lot from it. The whole setup of the story, how she separates the three parts. There are three distinct parts in the story, written in three different styles, where you get completely different feeling in all three parts. Although you get whole story together. The characters here, both Mrs. Ramsey and Mr. Ramsey, and the side characters like Lily Briscoe and so on, you get so engaged with them. To me, both characters and writing style, and also the whole context of the novel, the consequences of a war as a change agent in society, in families, and so on. It is extremely complex, yet very, very accessible. If you decide to read it, you sit down and read it, and you get out you get out the treat. And what I felt when I read it first time, which I very seldom feel, is that when I read last page, I wanted to go back immediately and start from the beginning. And right now when I'm holding it, I just want to go. When I close down this, go to bedroom and start reading it. It's such a magnetic read. So to me, To the Lighthouse, you just have to read it if you haven't done it, but you need to be ready for it. So these are my favorite reads for the year. Now, of course, I've read stuff that I didn't enjoy very much, didn't enjoy at all, I would say. But I pulled out two books that I got specifically disappointed in and annoyed with. The first one is this book, Lost in Math, by Sabine Hossenfelder. Now this book, I saw it on a booktube as a recommendation. I also read lots of Goodreads reviews about the book. I have a scientific background, and as a former scientist, I feel very much for the theme, and the theme in itself, it says how beauty leads physics astray, and it is about how theoretical physicists, they get more and more immersed into mathematics, and due to the limitation of the experimental equipment, they are exploring theories deeper in math, and now the mathematics is taken over. So the beauty of equations in the mathematics, it is driving the exploration forward, and not kind of that you are developing theories, then you're testing the theories, you get them either falsified or corroborated. If they get corroborated, working further on the normal scientific procedure. No, nothing like that. You cannot test them, so you continue working with math, and now math is basically taken over, and then the untested mathematic theories are used as a foundation to create even new ones with the math and so on. And more and more bright people are involved in this and getting deeper and deeper into science that is albeit well funded, not leading to anything really that we can use or further our knowledge, and this is so this is the basic kind of a premise of the book, and this is what she says, and then she says this many times in the book. That's what happens in the book, and I felt okay, so I get it. And I get it, and I get it, and I get it, and same thing back again. So okay, and then so what? Okay, so what? I don't get really so what here. And you could have done so much things about the career progression at universities, the research funding problematics. You could go deeper into kind of understanding the consequences of this, and getting into okay, how do we deal with the problem? But no, everything is it was just like, to me it was just like whining feast. Really, that was one thing that really annoyed me here. Really not exploring the subject, and just staying with this with this simple message. Like lots of non-fiction books, especially in business, are actually the simple idea, and then whining about the simple idea, case after case after case after case, the thing that you understood already from the beginning. So okay, so what more do I learn from here? It's just it's not even entertainment you feel when you read these books, and this book is very much like that. That was one thing. Second thing, she very often get into physics, right? And okay, in physics, fine, okay, but if you write popular text, it has to be accessible for people that don't know physics. They need to understand what is there. They need to understand why the example you're bringing up is relevant for actually what you are trying to say, if you want to convey a message. Now the thing is, I'm an engineer. I'm a mechanical engineer. I have a PhD in mechanical engineering. So I've gone through both my fundamental education and my graduate school, and in my research through fair amount of mathematics, fair amount of physics, many hours and weeks and months and years of education, not in theoretical physics, but fundamental for this maths and the physics. And still, to me, it was like, what? And then read it again. What? I don't get this. What is this? Several times. And then I read all these reviews, on Goodreads of people that, seemingly they understand what you are saying. So, so either they are expert on theoretical physics, these thousands and thousands of people that are loving this book, or I just don't have a capacity to grasp this, or I really don't. But I don't. There were lots of things here about physics I didn't get, and when I read the book, I really like to get what I'm reading. Otherwise, it doesn't give me anything. So as a popular science work, in my opinion, this was crap. Sorry, but they are divided opinion. But this is crap. And as a kind of a book that should fulfill like a political role in changing something, in finding of science, in directing the science, also it was complete failure. So to me it was a huge disappointment, lost in mind. Second book that disappointed me this year was this one, How the Soldier Repairs the Gramophone by Sasha Stanisic. And Sasha Stanisic is a German Bosnian author, and this book is about a young boy from Eastern Bosnia, from a town of Visegrad, the same town with bridge over the Drina, and that's the area actually where I come from. So I thought it was really exciting to read something about from that area. So this young boy from Visegrad is a Serbian guy, and then he's a part of rescuing this Muslim girl Asya, and then this boy he leaves Bosnia as a refugee and moves to Germany, and so the story goes, and so what to tell about this book. I was really excited to start reading it, and then I start reading, and then I realized that all these prizes that it received, and all these endorsements, shortlisted for the Bologna, Everyman Woodhouse Prize, German Book Prize, astonishing, world-class, authentic, adventurous, impressive, deeply poignant. Poignant, this is the word I'm learned to avoid. Dazzling, that's the another one. All this, what was this? It was like, okay, this is I interpreted this is kind of culturally significant. It is like ethnic. So we have to love it. Otherwise, it is not your opinion is not correct. That's what I'm kind of getting from. And why I'm saying that, the execution of the book literally it was terrible, very poorly written, in my opinion, not really having a flow. Not really telling me anything, not really awaking anything when I'm reading. You don't get this introspection like you have when you read a good book. It was something that I really hate a lot. Hate a lot. That's quite a strong word. I don't like very much. Is the magical realism, and I didn't really expect that. And it was magical realism that was a ripoff from Emre Kusturica's movies, like Time of Gypsies and Underground and Black Cat, White Cat, that kind of stuff. You can imagine, type of things. Everybody's eating. Somewhere out in nature on a lawn, the family, all the generations there, and then somebody is there with a trumpet and tuba, and all of a sudden it's chaos, and somebody is shooting with a gun, and a grandfather is farting, and all that. Come on, man! It is typical Balkan cliche, and it was just maybe because I'm from Balkans, I didn't like it, but this, it was huge disappointment in the book. Trying too much and then ripping off, and then it becomes bad. So that's my opinion. Okay, so we had some good works, some bad works. Then I have two works that are on the good side. They were really good works. They didn't really qualify for my top 5 this year, but I want to mention them anyways, because they gave me quite a lot. First of them is Foucault's Pendulum by Umberto Eco, and this book I read as a read along together with the Jason over at now he changed the name of his channel. Now the name of the channel is it was Byways in a Book Club. Now it's Jason Has Books. He did the read along, and the reason why he did it is because he's a huge fan of course, Pendulum. This is the best book he ever read, so he's reading it and rereading it. So he was our Cicerone on that journey, which helped very much. It was extremely difficult book to read. It was huge challenge, huge challenge. He warned us for this, but I thought, yeah, come on, how difficult can it get? It can get really, really difficult. And if I didn't publicly kind of commit and said, in comments, hey, Jason, I'm reading this video, I probably would have DNF'd it, like, before I reached page 100, but I thought, okay, I need now to read it. And I was really happy that I passed through that, because book becomes much more readable, although difficult readable. And it's really great read. And what is this book about? Shortly, it is about conspiracy theories. So it is about a couple of guys, publishers at obscure academic publishing house, who out of just for fun are starting to discuss and connect various conspiracy theories around the in different times, connecting them together and weaving them into one huge conspiracy theory where everything is interconnected. So you are going back to time of Knight Templars and so on, and it is huge on references, this book, and you learn a lot from this book. You have to Google a lot. If you are like me, you want to understand everything, then okay, you need to spend a lot of time Googling, because you will not get the references. You get, to me, I just got small fraction from the beginning. I just had to Google it. So it helped very much to watch Jason's videos as well. Now, what was very special, what I liked this book, I liked the challenge, intellectual challenge. I liked the learning experience with all these, different, the frame of reference that is giving. And I really loved making the video. The video that this is my favorite video actually that I did during this year is Foucault Pendulum video, because it was such a wild preparation journey. I had a lot of fun preparing for doing a video and then doing the video. So it's, if you like talking about conspiracy theories, about artificial intelligence, about that kind of stuff, you should check out the video. Now I'm self-promoting, but hey, if I don't do it, who will? so this first honorable mention is this one. And then second honorable mention is the graphic novel Climate Changed. And Climate Changed, this book I read during Nonfiction November, and this was to me it was really fantastic read. I would say that my video is not very good that I did about it, because I was just talking about saying about what is it all about, showing the graphics and so on, because the content in itself, it's not really very much that I want to preach around. It is the book contains all the basic facts in all different facets of this really multifaceted problem. So you get everything is really covered. I couldn't come up with the area that is not covered covered in some way here. So it is very good primer when it comes to climate study, and why I am having it as honorable mention, because first of all it was very good. It was very comprehensive, interesting read, but I also think that it is really our duty to discuss this issue, regardless of what we think about it. We need to discuss it. We cannot really ignore it. And a climate movement started, had a really good pace, driven by this young Swedish activist Greta Thunberg back in 2017, 18, 19, and then it more or less died. Because to some people it was very convenient that COVID came, so they could shut down all that. discussion, really. And I think it is very important to keep that discussion alive. Also, what I noticed when I look at the video, that was the video that, maybe because it was bad video, I don't know, but I had other bad videos in my collection, but it wasn't, it wasn't clicked on many times. There was no engagement around it, nothing. So I really feel that, the people are really not very much interested into this issue. So I think that the issue deserves more discussion, and discussion. In order to be able to be productive discussion, it has to be educated discussion. And I think, starting by, getting some easy education here, and then you can think about it whatever you want, but at least, read it, get the information from here. I'm saying facts, maybe you don't think it's facts, but, I'm saying, and if you don't think it's facts, okay, challenge it then. But educate yourself. And if you educate yourself, then you can, take a stand and either, believe in this and have some alternative facts and look at them, or believe in it. And if you believe in it, then you need to be able to look yourself in the mirror and then start doing something. And, I'm not, the best example of how to be environmentally sound. I'm definitely aiming to improve, and everybody else would do that, in my humble opinion, because it is our responsibility to future generations. So even if you don't believe in it, so given the fact that if it might be true what is here, the consequences are severe, right? So by doing something about it, what do we really have to lose, right? So please pick up either this or something related, educate yourself. Let's get together. Let's start doing something by changing the way we behave ourselves. And that's where change will happen. It will not happen in some politicians and so on. Forget about that. That's not going to happen. It has to happen with us, consumers, right? Okay, so these are my two honorable mentions. So I have two honorable mentions. I have two disappointments, and then I have books. Let me see here. See what I'm doing here. Mark, do you see what I'm doing here? I'm doing a Steve pyramid now. So this is, strength and focus. And now, I'm cheating because Steve is doing it like this. I'm doing it like, Steve Donahue, he's always doing this in the book hauls. But these are my books. So next time I will try to do it but I'm too weak. I'm not as strong as a Steve Hulk Donahue. So I hope you got inspired by some of the books. Please, tell me what you think about, the good ones, the bad ones. Challenge me, especially on Lost in Math, because I know there are many of you like this book. So challenge me. So let's have a conversation. Until then, see you.